We got a girl that's going to try out for the news?
Yeah.
All right. Really?
Yeah, we got a lot of people that want to do the news, so when we get back from New Orleans...
Where's the girl?
Right there.
Where?
Right here.
Where?
Oh. You know,
Sounds on...
When I walk out there...
Why do they keep turning that mic off?
Like so.
Who, me?
No.
Who? There I am.
I'm going to the bathroom.
All right, go to the
That's
bathroom.
the breaking news. I'm going to the bathroom.
No,
You got your key and everything.
Go to the bathroom and get back in here. You're filling in for Jim Norton. When are we going to get Jim on the phone?
He should be calling it right
Any
around...
moment?
Yeah, he'll call in 12.
I predict he won't call because he never has.
I know.
I talked to him.
What were you going to say?
No, you're a dick, because when I walk out of here, the delay, then she'll hear it and then look at me, why did I say that?
I didn't say anything. I just didn't know where the girl was.
Okay.
Saw a few people out there, and I was wondering where the girl was. That's all. That's all I'm trying to say. If you
That's
think
all
about
I'm
it,
trying
really.
to say.
Mark Patrick.
Hi, Tom Bosley.
Ooh. Hey, Tom. Did you watch that Happy Days thing?
I saw like the last 10 minutes of it, and
Yeah.
you guys had the end of the deal down perfect with
Was it just
a heartwarming exit.
Oh.
Was it just cringy?
Yeah, there's a lot of that stuff. I don't want to see the reunion special.
No.
It just seems like there's a better way to do it, where everyone just, I don't know, still has their dignity. You know?
Like there's
Somehow?
probably if I had to have my top 3 shows of all time, the Dick Van Dyke Show, the original Dick Van Dyke Show, is one of them.
That's a good one.
Did you see the god-awful reunion they had about a year ago?
No. Oh, that must really be bad.
Oh, man, it was painful. And they came up with some convoluted way of getting everybody together.
Yeah, it was they had to write the obituary for one of their friends or something?
I think for Alan Brady.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
And then
Rose Marie is still alive.
How is that even possible?
It defies nature, doesn't it?
What did they say about Maury Amsterdam?
I think he's gone up to he's sniffing the big pickles in the sky.
But what did they say? Did they address that on the show, or just say he was out of town?
I don't remember. He was just like, I just want to remember Mary Tyler Moore and those little pants, those little capri pants.
Those are so unsexy.
She's got that Botoxed mouth, and all that stuff, and she looks like Sherry Lewis.
Oh, wow, that's good. She's just scary to look at now. Absolutely scary to look at.
I don't know. See, I want to remember them like they were in black and white, and that's the deal with Happy Days. It's like I don't see Henry Winkler with all gray hair.
Yeah. Yeah, what happened to the Fonz's greased back black hair?
There's just got to be a way to do it. I think they should have just sat there and goofed on each other. Like, oh, look at you doing your catchphrase, or look how young you... I don't know, something,
Yeah.
But they just take it way too serious and stuff, and then they look weird because they're so much older now, and I don't know.
Did Dick Van Dyke...
my favorite thing is like they're breaking down the 10 Commandments with Cecil B. DeMille.
Right.
Hey, Mark.
Which also had the worst casting of all time for a movie. But
No, I'm not going to say it now.
Why?
Because it got stepped on too many times.
What were you going to say?
Nothing. And I decline to even say it now. My little Dick Van Dyke thing.
Was it good?
Might have been, but now it's gone. Now it's gone.
Now it's gone? All right.
Because Mark Patrick doesn't listen.
Mark, you listening?
you know what? I have a really hard time hearing you guys, so I apologize for that.
Can you hear now?
A little bit.
Can you hear me now?
Now that I'm turned this way, I got you.
Can you hear me now? All right, Mark, Super Bowl. Pats favored by 7. Still going with the Pats?
Yeah.
By 7, huh?
I can't, since I picked them, 3 weeks ago, I can't not take them now, right?
Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, there's some controversy, though. Tom Brady's grandmother died. Is that going to affect his performance on Sunday?
I don't know. My grandmother died, and it wasn't that big a deal.
Wow. Hey, you're telling it like it is,
Some people,
I mean, really.
I think it's a little...
my grandmother was 92. His is 94. I just can't believe that it's that big a deal.
That it's blowing the Super Bowl big, yeah.
I mean, had this happened in week 3, would we be talking about his grandmother dying?
True. Well, it might be...
Probably not.
I'm thinking it might be slightly tougher for the aunts and uncles than the grandkid, right?
Well, I guess his dad was still very close with her.
Right.
But, she was in a nursing home.
Well, she lived a fine life. Well, but the press has to make a big deal out of it. 94 is a great life. I would take that any day. Any day.
Yeah, believe me, these guys are all down there just looking for any story they can conjure up.
Right. Yeah, and they're running out.
And this is the only thing that's coming out of the Patriots camp because Terrell Owens is all over everything else.
Yeah, well, that's why the Pats are going to win the Super Bowl. And a lot of Eagles fans are emailing me and just yelling and screaming at me, all pissed off. But I don't know. I see the Pats as more of a team, and the Eagles, all the attention is on Terrell Owens instead of the team. Terrell Owens, who is now saying that God told them to play, more or less, even though the doctors told him he shouldn't be doing anything on that ankle, right?
See, if God was really an Eagles fan, would they have not at least won the NFC the last couple of years?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, all of a sudden God's like a fan out of nowhere.
I just love the whole God thing and sports. Like God really is. Hey, fellas, listen, got the big Super Bowl party. My son's coming over, bringing the stuff. What do you think?
Yeah, Jesus comes over, brings some wine. Sure.
Yeah, I think.
Well, it's water. It's water until he gets there.
yeah. Enough with the God and sports thing. I think there's a lot of guys on the other team that lost the Super Bowl that also believe in God and was hoping God was going to help them as well.
Yeah.
And I think God is busy showing his power in other ways than I think Terrell Owens said this is God's way of showing how great he is or something like that by making me play in the Super Bowl.
No, I don't
I think God showed his power recently with the whole tsunami thing.
So you're saying the Eagles will get hit with a tsunami?
That's a little bit more accurate.
Yeah.
I don't remember any of those home videos that we saw all over the network newscasts of people pointing toward the sky when they were getting carried away.
Oh, wow.
You're a shock jock.
Thanks to the big guy upstairs.
Yeah, you're being a little shocking. Are you in Jacksonville, Mark?
No, I am in the nation's capital.
Oh, okay. You're down in you're at the compound.
Are you going to go for the big game?
No.
No?
I think I'm going to go to my basement and watch it on the big screen.
Yeah, I think it's a lot more fun to watch the Super Bowl at home, don't you think?
It really is.
Having been to the Super Bowl, it's such a mess.
In what way?
It's almost like the game is secondary.
Oh yeah, we've said that for years.
Yeah, I mean
it's almost like it's almost like that's right. There's actually a game going on. Between all the stupid things they do, they make a big deal just out of the coin toss and this, and then halftime is now an hour and a half long or whatever it is, and yeah, you're right. And then that's right. In between the fireworks and stuff, there is a game going on.
There's a game being played.
You're 100% right.
Paul McCartney had a press conference yesterday. When's the last time the halftime show had a press conference?
Yeah. Well, that's because of what happened last year.
And then he got up there and he had to be all hokey and don't worry about me.
I don't think there'll be a wardrobe malfunction this year.
Yeah,
thanks.
Yeah, no one wants to see anything that Paul McCartney has on his bate.
I hear it's really a clusterfuck down there this year as far as hotel rooms go and transportation. There's not enough cabs. The city is so spread out, Jacksonville, that nobody can stay together. And it's the closest place is like an hour drive to the stadium. Any of your pals?
Can't imagine what a mess that must be. I mean, I've just, having just been in Jacksonville for regular games, it's not easy.
Yeah, why did they pick Jacksonville?
I don't know. It's all financial. I don't remember what Jacksonville's whole bit was.
Yeah, well, I mean, everyone...
the real mess is going to be Detroit next year.
Well, can you imagine? Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of people have to, stay on cruise ships and stuff because they don't have enough hotel rooms.
Yeah, they had to pull up cruise ships.
Sounds like that would be kind of fun, but also a hassle.
Have you guys ever been on a cruise?
Anthony?
Yeah.
I don't know about you, Anthony, but it was like the worst room I've ever seen in my life.
Really? What room did you stay in, you cheapo?
Well, no, it was my honeymoon, and we go into the room. This is my honeymoon. I didn't want to do it because I was like, man, why do I want to get seasick for a week on what's supposed to be my honeymoon?
Yeah, you really got to watch yourself.
Is it that bad on those big cruise ships?
There's
some Dramamine.
I mean, the bed wasn't even big enough for me to lay down in.
Did your room? Let me just ask you this: did your room have a balcony?
No.
Did you have a round porthole on the side on a wall?
No.
No, it wasn't. You had no window.
No, and this was
you had an inside. Okay,
oh
I know what this guy had. This guy had an inside room, which is the inside part of the ship. Probably was it lower down in the ship?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very far down in the ship,
and that's
you
where
can actually hear the bilge pump when you try to sleep.
And that's where you get seasick the most, right?
No, some people say up top.
I think what made me the most sick is we had to bunk with 3 waiters.
But I'm bummed.
Damn, I wish I had a crash put it up. Yeah, thank you, Opie.
No, the guy, I sit there, I go, I'm telling my wife, I go, oh, no, there's a mistake. Look at this. So I go and I find the guy who's like the gopher guy, right?
Gopher from the Love Boat,
And I said, look, we've got, my wife upgraded and everything. I said, we're in the wrong room. And then he opens the door to show me what we would have had we not upgraded.
Oh, you were upgraded.
I'm like, oh, my God.
You get what you pay for on a cruise ship is
no kidding.
Is what the deal is. If you go in there trying to get a discount vacation on a cruise ship, you're screwed because you will get a shoebox, and the lucky people get the porthole so you can get a little fresh air in there. But you got to pay through the nose, and then you get on the upper decks. You get the big suite with a balcony over the side. It's great.
See?
When you're getting paid to not do radio for a couple of years, you figure these things out.
See, I was getting paid to do really bad radio at the time. It's like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow,
20 years? Was it really 20 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, they've changed, too. The cruise ships now, the ones they're building now are amazing. Like, even the bad rooms are pretty good. And you don't get as sick because there's all kinds of stabilization equipment on there. It's pretty cool. Maybe you ought to try it again, Mark.
Well, see, this is what this was supposed to be. I got this whole spiel from my wife that this, they had the stabilization and da-da-da-da-da. And the first night at dinner, I look over and she's some sort of shade of gray.
You got to take your Dramamine.
Well, she did, and we both had the little patch behind our ear and everything.
How miserable were you guys by the end of it?
Oh, I was ready. I was ready to kill her.
Yeah, that's the worst.
Was Leslie Nielsen your captain 20 years ago?
So, it was actually uphill from there, so that's good.
Yeah.
All right, Mark.
One of these days, I'll tell you the story about the guy with no legs that sang at the talent contest.
On the ship?
Yeah.
Guy with no legs singing at the talent contest. You get the best
radio tease.
You get the best entertainment on cruise ships.
Should we get the story now or another time?
No, I got time. I got time. If you got time.
You piqued my curiosity.
All right, let's hear the story.
All right. Well, you know how when you're like stuck somewhere, you always see like the same person. You don't know who they are.
Yeah.
But you run into them all the time.
Sure.
Well, this guy, so, you're on a cruise ship for a week, and I keep seeing this guy, and he's odd because he's wearing blue jeans and cowboy boots.
Now, why would you do this on a ship?
This is a Caribbean cruise.
Yeah.
So, people run around in shorts and stuff, so it's like, why is this guy wearing, and I'd always get behind him. You know how the stairways going from one deck to the other are very thin.
Well, on your deck, it probably was very thin. I had the palatial, like the Titanic, like the great entranceway in the Titanic. That's what was every staircase by my room.
So I get behind this guy, and he always kind of walked. He always was walking weird and stuff. And so it was just such a miserable. It rained the whole time. It was the most miserable week of my life, and I keep running into this guy, and he has on like the same pair of jeans, and they're like the jeans that you buy at truck stops.
Yeah.
Those ones that have the extra big ass for the truck drivers.
Like Steve wears. Yeah. Truck stop jeans.
You go to the buffet, and this guy would grab like the last piece of pie I wanted. And I go, it's 90 degrees, and there's this guy walking around. I keep running into him. So we get to the last night, and there's absolutely nothing to do on this ship. So they have the talent show for people that are passengers.
All right, this is where the story should have began, by the way.
Right. Yeah, we know how it ends. You blew it by saying the guy with no legs story.
So the story should have began.
So the whole mystery of why he was walking weird, why he was wearing pants, it kind of loses something
The
here.
story should have began.
See, that's why
The
I
last
don't
night
get
on the
paid.
cruise, we went to the talent competition. Jesus, Mark.
Wow, Mark.
All right, well, we're with you
That's
still.
why I don't get paid to not be on.
All right, go ahead. So, are you finally sitting at the talent show?
I think that I
Or is your
still
wife
feel
at the
good
bar
about-
getting your drinks?
I still feel good about the story. I really do. I still think.
All right. Are we settled down in our seats at
I
this
had
point?
forgotten my pocket watch, so I went back to the room.
I am
Holy
telling this
mackerel.
like Gary Marshall.
All right.
So-
So where's the wife right now? She's sitting?
So she's with me, and we are at this point of the cruise in the tight-lipped stage
Okay.
where you barely say, "Are you ready?" You know,
Right.
when you're going somewhere.
Right.
Because we're just being civil because this whole cruise idea, I am so right that the whole thing has gone down the toilet, and she knows I'm right.
Okay.
So we go to the stupid talent show. We're sitting there, and we go through, and
Nice
you get
shot, by the
these, these old women, that are doing their, threesome singing and all this crap, and it's just the worst thing you can imagine.
How many
So-
knots was the ship doing at this point, Mark?
Jesus, Mark.
How many knots? Was it about maybe
Are you
15?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
All right. Are you still feeling good about the story?
I'm feeling good about it. So this guy goes up last, and I
Okay,
finally
good.
say to my wife, I said, "Oh my God, there's that guy I keep running into."
Oh, nice. Sorry.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
So he sits up there,
Mhm.
and he pulls he goes, I'd like my wife Letitia to stand up,
Oh,
and
you twist
I
the
want
story.
everybody to know how much I love her. We are on our honeymoon. It was 2 years ago this week that I was driving down Interstate 65 in Lexington, Kentucky, in a hard rainstorm, and I saw a car pull over with a flat tire. And I pulled over, and
He's telling this guy's long story during his long story.
I know. This is just amazing.
I asked you guys if you wanted to hear this story.
Well, and we said
and you
yes.
said yes. You piqued my
All right.
interest.
All
By
right.
the way, when you're telling these
Hold
little
on,
stories, here's a good idea. Have a point. It makes it so much more interesting for the listener.
Well, I'm interested though. Anthony,
All right,
at this
he's the
point.
guy's talking about his, I guess, how he met his wife.
And there's a car with a flat tire.
All right, flat
He
tar.
got the flat tire. He got out, and he was a good Samaritan. I got out. I changed the tire. At that point, a semi, blinded by the rain, rammed the back of my pickup.
That's terrific. That's terrific.
Shoving it into the back of her car with me in between and severing my legs at the knee. Now, it was at this point that the guy pulls up his jeans and takes off both of his artificial legs from the knee down.
Mm-hmm.
And then brings her on stage and sings Feelings.
All right.
Hey, I'm with you, man.
I am laughing so hard that I'm ready to throw up.
Hello, exactly.
Hello, exactly. Were you openly laughing though?
I know. What you guys want to say is, I had you at the honeymoon, didn't I?
Yeah.
It's one of those deals where you're laughing at a funeral. You can't. Everybody.
Hey, you're a foghorn. Boring.
Thank you.
What the hell are you talking about? What the hell are you talking
I
about?
must go on record and say this is not a boring story, Derek.
He sure ran that one into the ground.
No, he didn't run the story into the ground. I thought it was a nice little story.
And he took off his legs.
Had I not been forced to give the punchline before the story,
That's true.
Yeah,
I believe
it's
that you would have been mesmerized.
yeah, it's very tough to work backwards when you're
It is,
telling
and
those
that's
type
why
of
I said
stories.
that was a tease, and then you forced me to go ahead with the story. So I look at myself as blameless here.
Well, duh.
All right, Mark. Very good.
Thank you, Mark, for checking in once again with us. And I don't know, maybe we'll call you from New Orleans.
Yeah, have a good time down there.
Yeah, we might call you.
If you do, I promise. Either a better story or no story at all.
No, I like the story. I'm going on record.
You like the no-leg
Yes, I
singer
did.
story?
I don't think you guys should have abused him as much as you did. And
I appreciate the love and support.
All right, Mark.
From one side of the room.
To the other?
All right, I hear you.
And from the other, I'm going to get an attorney.
All right, Mark Patrick, everyone. Thanks, Mark.
Boys, have a great time down there if I don't talk to you.
All right,
Thanks,
cool.
man.
There he goes, Mark Patrick.
Oh, is that funny?
It was a story within a story.
He's telling the guy's long-winded story